ready? Let's go. Hello. If you guys were around when I first hit a 300-pound squat, I made like 800 videos about it, but nevertheless, when I first hit that kind of milestone that I was looking forward to, I then celebrated, and then I started looking at what my next big goal would be. And strength-wise, obviously, I wanted to continue getting stronger, so I looked at my rate of progress, and let's say I put on 50 pounds of strength on my squat in the past 5 months. I then assumed that in the next 5 months, I could do another 50. And if you've been lifting for several years, then you know that that reasoning was stupid and wrong, and I obviously did not do that. Sadly, I do not have a 350 squat. In today's video, we are going to be looking at what happens when you stop making progress and what should you do. Before we get into my advice, I want to first ask you if you've clicked on this video because you're not making progress anymore. I have to run through a couple of things to get to the bottom of whether or not you're truly stalling. People are so often frustrated with their rate of progress when it comes to building muscle and losing fat and even building strength. You're not going to have a clear picture of whether or not you've stalled unless you have the following. First, you need a clear picture of success and what that means for you. Not what success looks like for someone else, what it means for you. Have a clear picture of that. Next, you need some information on the key progress indicators that you're going to track and monitor throughout time. Before you say, oh, I'm not making progress, then I need to know, like, okay, well, when did you stop making progress based on your key progress indicators? These are things like body weight, body fat percentage, progress pictures, total strength numbers, things like that. Next, you need realistic expectations, which is where I went wrong. A thing that goes hand in hand with those realistic expectations is understanding that your rate of progress is going to be much quicker earlier in your fitness journey when compared to later in your fitness journey once you become an intermediate lifter. I know, it's sad. In my example of my big, huge squat goals, I didn't really have a good picture of what progress meant once I got past that newbie gains phase. Lifters can expect to see like really accelerated growth of muscle and strength gains in those like first 6 to 12 months of lifting regularly. So if you're in the gym several times a week, really consistently, basically on a program, you can see amazing gains. And this is awesome because it gets a lot of people addicted to the gym, myself included, and a lot of people credit that newbie gains phase because it's so exciting as to what helped them keep their gym habit. If you are a potential newbie and don't really lift yet, understand that you can see some pretty big progress really early in your journey. So let's say you do have a clear picture that you are stalling and you want to address things. First, you're gonna check in with the usual suspects. Usually things that are affecting your progress are sleep, stress, hydration, nutrition, and consistency. Those are pretty self-explanatory. If you stop making progress and then you check in, you're like, yeah, I've only been sleeping 4 hours a night. Well, of course you're gonna stop making progress especially when it comes to training hard in the gym. You're probably not training that hard anymore, even though you feel like you are. Your stimulus is probably a lot lower because you don't have the energy. So check in with those things, and if all of those are addressed, then let's look at your training. Some things that might be going on is, did you start a new program recently? It's gonna take some time to get used to the new movements, if there are any new movements. You gotta give it time to actually start working its magic. And the next is, did you run out your newbie gains phase? Maybe you ran a linear progression and you're starting to stall. That means it's time for a more intermediate program. You can't run those programs that tell you to just, oh, add 5 pounds or add another set every week. You're gonna need something a little bit more advanced based on your level. Next, maybe you're not on a program at all. And there are many people who just go to the gym and do what they want to do. And if you're not seeing progress, then this is your sign. You gotta do a program. At a certain point, you might notice just a gym habit, going in the gym and having some fun might bring you some gains, especially newbie gains if you're just increasing your activity level, which can result in weight loss or fat loss and maybe even some muscle gain. But if you have more intermediate goals, you wanna add on muscle to a physique that already is, you know, relatively lean, then you're probably going to need to get on a program. So if you're asking this question, oh, I've stalled in progress and you're not on a program, simple fix, you just gotta start. training with a dedicated plan. And next, maybe your training is too much. Maybe your volume is too high and your fatigue and recovery is too low, or your fatigue is too high and your recovery is too low. Maybe you do need to switch things up or lower the intensity so that you can recover and continue to train hard. Okay, let me tell you guys a little story for my people who are on a weight loss and fat loss journey. Recently, I lost 2 pounds. Yeah, I know. 2 pounds, like, let's compare. 2 pounds here minus 2. Yay, 2 pound weight loss. Not that exciting. I mean, it's not nothing, but it's not that exciting. 2 pounds weight loss looks a lot different than the picture here. So here you can see the body composition changes that I went through, that I experienced, and it also is 2 pounds of weight loss. These are the same result. It's my body. This is what we did. So I lost 2 pounds, but the body composition change is a lot more impressive, at least to me, or exciting to me, and is a better indicator of my progress than just 2 pounds. Like 2 pounds is not really that much weight to lose. You can see what it looks like on the scale versus what it looks like in a photo. This isn't why those key progress indicators are important, things like weight loss, or let's just compare these two. So this is a body weight change, and then this is a body composition change, just in the form of progress photos. So you want to always have 2 progress indicators and track them regularly. Body weight is easy because it's easy to just step on a scale and then you know your body weight, and it's really straightforward to compare. Progress pictures are a little bit more complicated, although this result is a lot more exciting to see. You just want to make sure you have some consistency of the photo, which you can even see here. The consistency of the photo is not super consistent. I try my best though. Note here is to have 2 progress indicators and compare them as you go, and compare them regularly. You don't want to just get married to the body weight progress indicator because it might not be the most important thing to you. Last, you want to realize that success in one of these does not always mean success in all of your progress indicators. That's why it's important to have a priority of progress indicators. For me, body weight is not really a priority. The body composition is more exciting. Now, however, my progress indicator that I'm most married to is performance, and on my specific challenge, I am having performance increases, and that resulted in a body composition change. But you have to understand that if you have, let's say, strength is an important key progress indicator to you, you have to realize that strength gain may impact other progress indicators. So for example, strength gain may mean a body weight increase, or a body weight increase may mean strength gain. A body weight decrease may mean strength loss. So that's why I like to set your progress indicators, understand all of the options that are out there and how your body might change, and also prioritize them. So if strength is the most important thing to you, then you need to realize that your body weight, your body composition may take a back seat, especially if you're really focused on strength, if it's your highest priority. If specifically you're stalling on a certain lift, here are my suggestions. You may want to consider improving your technique. So don't go overboard with the tutorials. There are so many of them online and everywhere, and I make many of them, but try not to go overboard. If you're trying to improve technique on a lift, really the best thing that you can do for that is to just lift. Like hundreds and hundreds of reps, thousands and thousands of reps. You are going to get better over time. Now, a little bit of information, a little bit of technique, know-how will be helpful. However, don't get lost in the mix. I recently shared this story about when I was at a seminar, someone came up to me and they said, "Hey Meg, can you look at my squat? I have a hip shift." And I thought, oh, this lifter must be pretty intermediate. I'm excited to see her lift. Let's see what's going on. Got to see her lift, and it was very clear to me immediately with the first rep that this lifter did not have a hip shift, and also they were a very beginner lifter. This lifter didn't need any videos diagnosing a hip shift or telling you how to fix a hip shift. They just needed to squat more, and they just needed to improve their mobility and their comfortability in the squat movement pattern. So that is my little anecdote, so that you don't get lost in the mix of trying to learn all the things and read about lifting and watch videos about lifting. You really just need to lift, okay? So if you're stalling on a certain lift and you're earlier in your journey, or you don't feel really comfortable with the movement, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. And lastly, if you're stalling on a lift, again, are you on a program? Are you on a program that prioritizes that lift, or those lifts specifically? A dedicated program that has an intentional progression in that lift is what you need. You won't get better at benching either by maxing out every single bench session. I have a friend, a really close friend of mine, who does not watch my channel, so I can talk shit about him, because he just goes in the gym and he benches 315 every time he walks into the gym. What's his max? Did you ask me what's his max? Oh, it's 315. What? And obviously you can probably bench a lot more than 315, but he probably one day just realized that he's strong and he's good at the bench, and he's just gonna go in and flex and bench 315. He's probably not gonna progress with that kind of training too much further than 315. I bet he could probably bench 400 if he really wanted to, like with some training and a dedicated training program that utilizes sub-maximal weight over a period of time, but I don't think he's gonna do it. And this is one of my best friends, y'all. Let's say you're stalling on progress because your X body part won't grow. So your glutes won't grow, your biceps won't grow anymore. The solution here is to train with more frequency. You don't wanna overtrain. You wanna make sure that you're getting enough rest of the body part specifically, but you might wanna add in more frequency, more sets. Next, are you eating enough? Are you eating enough in order to experience muscle growth? If you're always cutting and your muscles aren't growing, then that is the reason why. Maybe consider getting into a short period of a bulk. Have some patience, especially if you're in that intermediate phase and you're starting to notice that X body part isn't growing. Those are my suggestions. Here's how to keep progressing. Other than training and all the things that we talked about, you wanna keep your protein high. You gotta eat protein in order to grow your muscles. You might want to change your focus. Maybe if you've been on a fat loss program, nutrition wise, maybe you get on a bulk. Maybe if you have just been focused on fat loss for a long period of time, you might want to focus on strength. Switch it up mentally. Even if your programming is kind of similar, you know, you're always training to get stronger and get bigger muscles, maybe you switch key progress indicators for a short period of time. Just give yourself a little bit of a break and a step back from these things that feel like they're a plateau, and they might truly be a plateau, but giving yourself some time away from that focus could be helpful mentally and physically. Make changes to your program, kind of what we already talked about. Can you periodize your training? Can you have periods where you're focused on more bodybuilding style training, and then, you know, in the next season you're focused on growing your deadlift? Can you swap exercises? Can you switch things out? So instead of being so focused on some barbell movements, maybe you have a period of time where you are focused more on machines. Next, of course, try a caloric surplus. Try it. It makes you feel really good, and it makes you happy for the most part if it's not too uncomfortable. I know it can be uncomfortable for some people, but try a caloric surplus to have a period of growing muscle, gaining strength, and a little bit of a break away from the cut. And last, you gotta train hard. I hate to say it, but you gotta train hard. Try to get closer to failure on your sets. So if you're in the gym and you're training, ask yourself, what is my proximity to failure, and am I close to it? And be honest with yourself, because sometimes I'll be training and I'm really like, not even anywhere. I'll look back at the video and say, I'm not even anywhere near failure. No wonder I'm a skinny bitch. Just kidding, I'm not. I know a lot of my lifters on Stronger by the Day are gonna appreciate this video, because sometimes it feels like you're just not moving forward, but usually I find that the answer is, I'm just a mature lifter and a mature woman. When you're out of the newbie gains phase, when you're an intermediate lifter, when you're years in, you have to understand that your progress is going to be more on a year-to-year basis and not so much a month-to-month basis. So check in with your goals quarterly and your progress quarterly, especially if you're feeling like you don't notice any difference from month to month. Maybe just increase the time, fall in love with the, lifestyle of doing whatever it is that you want to do, of strength training. Like, you gotta love the training, because you're gonna be in for a long time, but the results are gonna be good for your health, good for your life, and good for everyone around you. We're in the battle against osteoporosis, my friends, and we're winning, okay? All right, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're not already. We're closing in on this awesome series that we have, and myself and the team have been thinking, what are we gonna do next? I know I haven't made so many instructional videos this series, but this is one of them. So hopefully you guys liked it. I think next we're gonna focus on the business and maybe do some vlogging. Buff Chick especially has some cool stuff coming up, and you guys don't always get to see like what I'm doing when I'm actually working. So I think we're gonna do a little Buff Chick business series. It's not gonna be boring, I swear. Think like Max Tuning, what he does. I really like the like Nick Bear's channel. Oh my God, is he not my idol? I love his channel and how he incorporates his training, his personal goals, and also his business goals. So I'd love to open the curtain. I'd love to show you guys behind the scenes and what goes on and have you guys meet more of the team. But we'll see that in a couple of weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.